Welcome to Mega End Gaming, and today's second review is going to be another PC game and another first-person shooter. Will it be as good as the last one? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So this is of a game series that I first played as quite a young child. I believe I was 8 or 9. Had a demo of the first two games in this series on my 386 computer. The fact I could move around in a seemingly 3D world was quite impressive, given I was previously stuck with just the first is just text adventure games on the PC and the NES and Super NES. A lot of side-scrolling games. So, this game is Return to Castle Wolfenstein. You can get this game on GOG and Steam. And I'm speaking for the PC version. You can play it on Microsoft Windows and Linux. I cannot speak for the Xbox or PlayStation 2 releases, but I have read reviews where there are issues with those games compared to this one. I have yet to play the newest two games in the series, and at some point I will, and I'll go ahead and put up a brief review. But had the series ended right here, this series would have quite the reputation of being one of the greatest 3-game series of all time. You can purchase this game for $4.99 on Steam and for $5.99 on GOG, which at that price, this is a huge, huge bargain. There's still an active multiplayer scene, and with the multiplayer, there's a variety of modes. The main one is the objective mode, split into two teams, Axis and Allies. Each team has a set of objectives to complete. And it's usually that the Allies are trying to destroy an Axis objective, and an Axis objective is to defend their objects. Then there's also a variety of other modes to play as well, given that the community's added on different mods and whatnot to the game. It's also available for Mac OS. So, as far as the details of this game, it's developed by Grey Matter Interactive, published by Activision, and it was released in November of 2001 for Microsoft Windows, and it was the next spring when the Linux and Mac OS releases were offered. First one on Steam on August 4th of 2007. So what's the plot? Well, the year is 1943, and you are BJ Blazkowicz, and you are sent into Egypt investigating increasing activity of the Nazi SS Paranormal Division. And it starts off there. Move through a variety of environments. They're quite detailed, interesting, and balanced. But before the game starts, you are carted away and imprisoned in a remote medieval castle, which is a combination stronghold, prison, and research station. You're sent there with Agent 1, who is tortured for information and dies from electrocution, which you actually get to watch in the first part of the game. So that's where the story starts, and to find out more, you have to play the game or find somebody else's YouTube video. So let's go ahead and get the game up and running. Put on an easy skill just to demonstrate what's going on. You get objectives at the start, some primary and secondary objectives to complete. The cutscenes are well done and actually seem to fit in rather coherently with what you're doing. And you get these little mission briefings which look like they're on an old piece of paper, except for the font obviously, but it adds more to the immersion. So you actually feel like, at least from what I've mentioned so far, you feel like you're a part of this, what's going on here. You start off in the prison cell. All the graphics are a bit dated, and some of the stuff's a bit nonsensical, like the gun just being left outside here for you to pick up. It is, for the most part, well done. The castles and other environments are beautiful for the time, and still hold up quite well to this day. As far as the gunplay and other control aspects, there are a lot of like switch puzzles and everything throughout the game, but none of them are terribly cryptic. They're appropriate difficulty. You can actually shoot through areas like this, and you can actually play this game in rather a stealthy fashion if you opt to. I'm so used to E being the right one to. There are some things like that, like shooting that should have caused blood, but that's alright. The AI is actually pretty well done. Like if you start shooting your gun off, they'll hear it. And it's like everybody in the map's going to be provoked. They'll be the ones that are seemingly in the right range. So you have to switch right here. That is the wrong switch to hit, but he is already dead. Got the plume of smoke. There's a lot of interactive elements of the environment that makes this quite an interesting world to explore. As far as the enemy characters, there's quite a big variety of them that have different skills, weapons, etc. Of course, since I was firing off my gun and fooling around with other stuff, these ones people up here are aggroed. Keep in mind this is on like the easy difficulty, but even then they do things like take cover. So you can play this game stealthy or all guns a-blazing. Where is it? Obviously, headshots are going to cause more damage than just shooting in an arm. And it doesn't have quite the detail where shooting an arm is going to cause a person to drop their gun, but nonetheless, for the time, it is quite impressive. Now I'm out of ammo, but I have a backup weapon at least. I'm probably going to die here. There's destructible aspects to the environment. The medkit's back here. So yeah, the controls are quite smooth and responsive. Weapon variety is quite excellent and fitting for the time period. The environment's quite immersive. The sound is rather dynamic. And everything in this game just, it makes a coherent game with a coherent plot, where you actually feel like you're a part of what's going on, instead of just kind of mindlessly running through levels because you have a gun. You never saw that coming. Sounds of leaning around corners. Future. See, he looked over at me and saw me. And then they triggered the alarm, which makes sense. Alright, so that's demonstrating a little bit of the game. This is up there as one of my favorite single-player campaigns in a first-person shooter. And the multiplayer is also up there as one of my favorite, maybe one of my top 10 favorite multiplayer experiences with a first-person shooter. Now I'm willing to say, as out of all the first-person shooters I've played, this is easily in the top 5 single-player experiences, and maybe even higher up on that list. I'd really have to go through. So as a complete package, it is one of my favorite games of all time. Very few flaws. Guns handle great, they're appropriate for the time, the AI is well done, the missions are well constructed. This game hits on about every major issue that matters. It's actually quite an impressive sequel to the first two Wolfenstein games, which are also well done. And it's a bit of a shame that I haven't played the New Colossus or Youngblood. From what I've heard about those two, it's a shame that those games went a different direction, it seems, than this one did as far as quality. But like I said, I haven't played them yet. It's possible those games might be brilliant, and other people are just trying to hype stuff up to get views and whatnot. So, where am I going to put this on the list? I'm going to put this second on the list. Second to Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. The lightsaber battles and the multiplayer, and also the mission constructions in single player, and the environments are just slightly better in Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. But either game, it's really a matter of preference. If you're more of a fan of World War II era lore, you're going to enjoy this game more. If you're more of a fan of Star Wars or space, you'll enjoy Jedi Knight 2 more. They're really two quite great games that either one you couldn't go wrong with. And at $5.99 or even $4.99 on Steam, this game's a steal. I'd be willing to, if this game were to only be in the store right now for $50, I would have no qualms about handing over my $50 to pick up a copy. So anyways, this is a definite must-have in your collection if you enjoy first-person shooters or just games with well-constructed narratives. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.